Hey guys, I'm kind of sick, so sorry if I'm all like slumpy and lame, but yeah, I just woke up and like I've got a sore throat. Of course, this is my luck. I get sick like either on my birthday or Christmas. Had food poisoning last year on Christmas, so woohoo! And also, I don't like to complain about my boyfriend because he's a good guy and he treats me really well, but sometimes you just gotta complain. Like, I never ask him to come get me from my house because he knows I don't have a car. I would say 95% of the time, I always find a way to get to his house. And on that 5%, when I have to ask him to come get me, it's always like, oh, but the traffic's really bad, or oh, but this and this and this and this. It just drives me nuts. It's like, I'm not just your girlfriend when it's convenient. I'm supposed to be your girlfriend all the time, so. Alright, but anyway, I got a request to do how I do my eyebrows, or my eyebrow maintenance, let's put it that way. So, first, the most important piece of advice that I wish I could go back in time and give my 8th grade self is to leave your eyebrows alone. If you don't know what you're doing, leave them alone. I thought that by, like, plucking all the hair out from underneath my eyebrows, suddenly I would get an arch, like a huge, beautiful arch. It doesn't work like that. If you keep plucking from the underside up, like I did, I eventually just ended up with a bald spot in the middle of my eyebrows. Or you get that hideous tadpole eyebrow where it's super thick in the front and then it becomes a little, like, tadpole. Yuck, yuck. So my biggest thing I would say is that look at your natural eyebrow shape. If you're really, like, hesitant and you really feel like your eyebrows need a lot of work, I would go get someone to have them waxed or threaded or whatever, and then you can just do the upkeep yourself. You know, just grab, these are Revlon tweezers that I got at Safeway, and I love these. They work great. So you can go get yours waxed and then just do maintenance, you know, like all the little hairs around here, you know, stuff like that. But if your eyebrows you feel like are pretty good shape already, I would just really learn to just sort of clean them up, because the weird things with eyebrows is sometimes you'll think, oh, I can pull this hair out, you know, like that hair doesn't seem, you know, it seems like it's in the way, and then you'll pull that hair out and all of a sudden you have a bald spot. So it's like, it takes a while, or at least it did with me, to learn how to shape your eyebrows without messing them up. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is just try and maintain your natural shape, you know, don't try and force your eyebrows to do something that they're not going to naturally do. And another thing, which I only learned about pretty recently, which was a big help to me, if you have the kind of eyebrows, especially if you're Asian, I'm part Asian, and I've noticed Asian girls, their eyebrows grow straight down. Like my eyebrow hair, from this point, from right here on, the hairs grow straight down. So the problem with that is that I could keep plucking from underneath, but I'm still going to have, this part is going to still be too wide because all of my top hairs have just grown down like that. So the way you deal with that, or at least the way I do, is I, you know, grab a comb like this, one of those cheap little combs, and just go to the mirror and brush your eyebrow hairs down. This is pretty hard to mess up too, so I recommend anyone can try this. Just brush your eyebrow hairs down all the way, and any hairs that are coming below the lower arch of your eyebrow, so anything that's sticking out of the shape of your eyebrow, just take some little cuticle scissors, those little curved ones, and just go chop, 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 and just clean up those long, scraggly edges. And you'll notice that when you brush them back into your shape, your eyebrow is going to look a lot more, like, refined without looking like you plucked it too thin. So that's a big one, because, you know, I'd always want my eyebrows to have more shape, so I'd end up over plucking them when really I should have been trimming them. So that made a big difference. Another thing I want to tell you guys about shape, which is something else I learned frequently, a lot of people, especially me, I had a tendency to pluck this part wider and wider and wider. I don't know why. Maybe I thought it would make my eyes look like they were farther apart. But you don't want to do that. And the reason, how it was explained to me, is that especially if you photograph yourself a lot, you know, whatever, you know, not that, like, if you're a model or, you know, you just take a lot of pictures of yourself, this is going to really show up in pictures. The farther apart your eyebrows are, the wider your nose is going to appear. So if you just let your eyebrows grow to their natural, you know, as far in as they grow, your nose is going to appear a lot slimmer. It's kind of like, you know, if you think of Megan Fox, her eyebrows grow in very far, and, you know, her eyes don't look close together or anything. It really, I think people are afraid of, like, a unibrow or something, but letting them grow in farther, just letting them do their natural thing, tends to work a lot better. Unfortunately, I've plucked mine so much there that it's gotten to the point where they hardly grow, but, you know, hopefully they will someday. What else was I going to say? Oh, okay. Well, okay, so I'll run through how I've been filling in my eyebrows. I grab something. Whoops. So the first thing I went through a wax phase, and I was doing this when my eyebrows were pretty full, pretty, you know, just normal looking, and I would use the Benefit wax, and I used the wax in this palette, the Smoke and Eyes palette, and it's got, whoopsie, it's got right there, let's see, it's Browsings, I guess, brow shaping wax, it's called that, and this is in a shade Light, although that doesn't look very light to me. But anyway, it's Browsings. I know they sell these on their own in a cute little box that comes with powder and brow wax. Urban Decay also does the same thing. I think it's called like Brows in a Box. And what I would use with it is a push liner brush. And if you're gonna fill in your eyebrows with wax or shadow, I definitely recommend picking up one of these. They just worked really, really well for me. It's got a great, you know, it's got this stiff square head. You can really just sort of, you can go along and shape the upper line of your eyebrow and then pull the color down. They're just perfect for that, I think. And then after that, I horribly overplucked my eyebrow, which was around this time I started doing YouTube videos, so you can go back and see my first videos. My eyebrows are really thin. And so I started filling them in with powder using the same brush and just any powder. I tend to use really cool tone powders. You can see this one has glitter in it, which is not ideal, but you can see how it's a very cool tone, sort of grayish brown, that one here. So I would definitely recommend that, because sometimes women will fill their eyebrows in with too red of a powder, you know, like a powder with too many red undertones, and unless your hair is, you know, hair looks like that, it's going to end up looking really bizarre. You'll really be able to notice the difference between your eyebrow hair and the powder. So if you have thin eyebrows, I would really recommend powder. I think it looks the most natural. I think it's the easiest not to mess up, too. So, yeah. But what I've switched to now is a combination of two things. The first thing I do is I use a pencil. I never used pencil before because I found they were way too thick. So when I draw a line, it was really obvious. The nice thing about this pencil, and this is the Tarte Inner Rim pencil, it's not made for your eyebrows. The nice thing about it is it's so incredibly thin that when I do these sort of like light little strokes, it actually looks like hair. So it's like you're actually adding in hair instead of these thick black or thick brown stripes, you know. So if you want to go with pencil, I would recommend getting the thinnest one you can and just get some practice at really doing those light little feathery strokes, because I love the way my eyebrows turn out when I use this. I find I get the best control. It's a little harder to figure out, but once you've got it down, I think it gives me the best result. And also, pencil is the best if you want to extend the line of your eyebrow a little bit, which I do. Pencil's going to look, it's going to be easier to do, whereas with powder, it's hard to pull off. So after I've done that, I then go over it with a tinted brow gel. This one is the Smashbox Brow Tech To Go. This one does come with a little crayon on one end, like that. The problem with this one, it was just too light and it was too thick. I don't know. It's got a weird shape to it, if you can see that. It's sort of like shaped like a triangle. It was just really awkward to use. I don't know. It's too light for me anyway. Maybe if it was darker, it would work better. I can't remember what color this is. I've only seen two colors at Sephora. So one of them had clear brow gel, and one of them had the tinted brow gel, and this is the tinted one. So on the other side, it's got this little baby wand, which I love, with the tinted gel. And so after I've done my pencil, I just run this through my brows. And I really like this just because, as I said, my eyebrows tend to grow in very strange directions. They really have ideas of their own about where they want to grow. So by applying that, I can kind of convince them to stay in one direction or another for most of the day. So yeah, that is my eyebrow video, I guess. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. I think that's about it. I mean, I would go check out, I think if you're first starting out and your eyebrows are already pretty good, the number one thing I would recommend is to go grab like one of those brow wax combos, Urban Decay, Benefit. There's a bunch of drugstore products like that where it's got like, either a wax and a powder. I think Milani makes one, or like something similar to the Smashbox one where it's got gel and the pencil. So I would go get something like that where you can try both out and see what works for you, because it really is, I think, just personal preference. So that's it. I hope you liked this video, and thank you guys for sending in requested videos. I really like it when you do that. I think I've done most of the requests I've gotten. The only one I can't do is a room tour because I don't really have the right camera for it, and plus my room is like the size of a box. This is at my parents' house, so this room is really small. So maybe I'll get a new camera for Christmas, and I can do that, but probably not. Alright, so thanks you guys for watching this, and I'll see you later. Bye.